Hi everyone, this is Carolyn, and today we are journaling on Psalm 145, 4 and 5. I'll read it in the NIV. It says, "One generation commends your works to another. They tell of your mighty acts. They speak of the glorious splendor of your majesty, and I will meditate on your wonderful works." Now, I'm using this Bible journaling kit that I unboxed in a previous video, and I said that I would try and do some of the things that the kit suggested. So one of them is taping off the verse that you're actually journaling on. So I'm doing that. I'm putting the tape on my hand because when you put it's usually with washi tape, but I'm thinking it works with this kind of tape too, which is like a masking tape. You put it on your hand and it makes some of the oils come off so that it doesn't, rip the page when you bring it off, pull it off. I am taking my craft knife and I am just cutting the tape down to make it like a perfect square. And there I was making sure I didn't cut through the page because I was like, oh my gosh, I think I cut too much. But it didn't go through the page, which is good. There's something you have to remember when you're working with a craft knife is, especially with Bible things, is the pages aren't as thick as scrapbook paper. So here I am putting down a card. I'm also using the Illustrated Faith, The Art of Noticing Bible Journaling Kit. And so I'm picking colors out. I'm using this, I'm not sure how you say it, but Faber Castell kit. And I'm using the gelatos that came in this kit, and I am just coloring on the page. So this kit suggests just coloring down on the page and then put some water on it and blend it together. So you'll see that I'm just getting the colors down on the page, and then you'll see me in a minute. I'll spray it with some water and then I'll blend it in with my fingers. While I'm doing that, as I was meditating on Psalm 145, 4 and 5, the first thing that I thought about was a teacher that I had in Bible college. I still think of him with such fondness. He's gone home to heaven now, but while I was in Bible college, he was teaching our class in his 90s. And there I am rubbing my hand along the page and just blending that in. And you'll see in a minute that I'll go in with a dryer and dry that up. This teacher's name was Pastor Z. He always encouraged me, but I will never forget this one day. I came to class and I was just really worried about one of my children. I hadn't told anybody about it. I had just brought it to the Lord in prayer. And there I am taking that, the tape off, and there's the verse with no gelatos over it. And I'm using this stencil that came with the Bible journal, the Faber Castell Bible journaling kit, and they suggested going over these little cardboard stencils with the gelatos. And I am going to tell you right now, this did not come out well. It did not, I do not recommend using stencils with gelatos. I ended up trying to fix this, and I just ended up leaving it, thinking, okay, sometimes we make messes and they're there and God knows what to do with them. So you'll see as I lift it up that the wax of the gelato just really went through the edges here. And I don't know, I just didn't really like it. I tried to get some of the extra wax off because I'm thinking that when I close my Bible page, it's going to transfer to the next page is this wax that's just built up and soft. And so I'm trying to get that extra off with my craft knife. And then I went in with a Tombow pen and tried to outline it, and it's just not outlining very well. So in the end, I just left it there and decided to move on with the page. So Pastor Z, he was preaching this one day. Here I am using the butterfly stamp from the kit, from the Illustrated Faith, the Art of Noticing kit. I put it on the blue, and then I'm going to not put it back in the ink and stamp it a couple more times. And this, I just felt like it was such a representation of how when things are coming at us, when we are in situations, we don't see what's going to happen. But as time goes on, we can see how God is putting things together. And the generation that is before us can tell us of how they have seen God's faithfulness and seen things come together. They can tell us how God made everything beautiful in its time. And so now I'm just playing with some ephemera and deciding where to put it on the page, and then I am going to take my tape and just tape these ephemera down. So this one day that I'll never forget in Pastor Z's class is that I had come to class worried about one of my children, like I said before. And he was in the middle of teaching on the topic that he was speaking about that day, when all of a sudden he stopped. And he said, "I want to tell you a story." And then he stood there and he told a story about when he was worried about one of his own children, and how someone had said to him, "Don't worry, she has got the word in her." And then he went on to say how the situation turned out and how over the years his daughter had grown up and become this wonderful woman of God. Then he said, "I just feel like someone in this room needs to hear that today." And then he went on teaching as usual. It gave me hope for my situation. It gave me hope for the future. It helped me endure the hard days, and when I was discouraged, the Lord brought that memory back up to me. So I love the ephemera of these, the leaves and the flowers and the colors of fall, but also the words in here, seasons change, but God remains the same. We are all in different seasons of our lives, and we will be changing. And sometimes we can be the people that are telling people who are younger than us stories of God's faithfulness. But God never changes. In all of it, God never changes. So I love the picture of these seasons. So when I think of Pastor Z, even though he's gone on to heaven, his words are still heard in my memory. And I will never forget what a gift this man was to me. He encouraged me so much. So I would encourage you to think of those in your life who have spoken to you of God's faithfulness. They usually have been older than me. The ones who have spoken to me have been older than me and have some stories to tell of how God got them out of some situations and how God's purposes came about over a number of years. And so here I am writing a prayer to God on the page. It says, "Thank you, God, for the gift of those who have shared how you worked in their lives with me. Thank you for the stories they have to tell of your faithfulness." And then in a moment, I'm going to go and I'm going to write some names of people that I remember how they spoke of God's faithfulness to me and how that was such a gift. Each person who I write on their names on this page, they are a gift. They, at that moment, were a gift to me to speak of God's faithfulness, to encourage me not to give up, to encourage me to keep going, to encourage me to persevere when things were so discouraging. So I also want you to think that about the fact that your stories of God's faithfulness are a gift. Your story of God's faithfulness to someone who needs to hear it is a gift. It gives hope. It gives the strength to endure. It gives them something to think about. Your story of God's faithfulness is a gift that is not just unwrapped once, but is unwrapped and looked at whenever they think about it. Pastor Z's words to me were a gift. I unwrap his gift whenever God brings it to mind. Your story of God's faithfulness is a gift. And when someone gives you the gift of telling how God was faithful in their lives, it's such a gift to you. Hang on to it, because God is no respecter of persons. Stand on the promises of God. Thank Him that He has been faithful. Thank Him that He is a faithful God, and that He will be faithful, and one day you will be telling of His faithfulness to someone else. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more Bible journaling videos.